Well, hello. Welcome to my channel, Britt Brings It Home. I do videos to help you create a healthy and an organized home. And in today's video, we are doing some deep cleaning and organization in the kitchen. If you haven't already, go to my blog, brittbringsithome.com. I will put the link down below, and I have a deep cleaning schedule for your whole home that you can download and print off and follow along with me. And for the month of June, we have deep cleaning the kitchen. So that's what we're doing today. So I have some dishes here to put away first, and then I'm going to start with the cabinets. We're going to be getting everything out of the cabinets, cleaning the cabinets really well, putting back only the things that we want to keep, that we actually use, putting them away nice and neatly, and moving on from there. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below with what was helpful for you and any other tips for organizing your kitchen that you have to share with the rest of us. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you are notified when I come out with the next video. All right, let's get to cleaning. Okay, now that the dishes are put away, I'm getting started with organizing the cabinets. And I'm starting with this cabinet here that has all of our glasses and cups. So you'll see as I go through this video that I do each cabinet and drawer the same way. I start by cleaning the outside. I wipe that down good, and then I move on to the inside. And I go shelf by shelf throughout the cabinet. I get everything off of the shelf and I wipe it down. And then I replace the shelf liner if it had shelf liner. Not all of my shelves do, but if it had shelf liner, I kind of shake it out first to get any crumbs off of it that might have been on it, and then replace it and also wipe it down. And then I usually go on to the next shelf, get everything off, wipe it down, and allow time for the other shelf to dry a little bit. And then once it's dry, I put things back on it nice and neatly. And before I put things back, I kind of go through and evaluate the things that I have and make sure I'm only putting away things that I actually want to keep. So if it's something that we haven't used for a long time, if they're like kind of babyish cups or plates or whatever that my kids don't use anymore, or if it's something that's in bad condition, or if it's like a travel mug and it's missing the lid, things like that, I will get rid of them. I will either throw them away if it's in bad condition or set aside to give away or sell. And if you saw my attic organization video, might want to go back and watch that one. I have tons of stuff that was in the attic that I am going to be getting rid of. It is now in my bonus room, but we are going to be having a garage sale very soon and getting rid of a lot of stuff, a lot of like old baby clothes and toddler clothes that my boys have grown out of. We're going to try to sell, and what we don't sell, we will give away. So yeah, as I was going through the kitchen, I found lots of things to add to that pile. So on the top shelf, I have all of our kids' cups. And I know there's people that like to put kids' cups and plates and things like down low where they're able to reach them when they want them. However, I don't like to do that just because I like things to be together, like items together. So I want all my cups to be together. I want all my plates to be together. I want all my silverware to be together. It's not that big of a deal to me to get a cup for my boys if they want one. But my oldest is tall enough now that he is able to just hop on the counter there and reach up and get a cup when he wants one. And then on the next shelf, we have all of our like travel mugs and water bottles and things like that. And then on the next shelf, we have glasses. And on each shelf, I did put them in order from tallest on the right side to shortest on the left side. And then I also put them so that they are right side up. So the part, that's open that you drink out of is facing up instead of down. I did previously have most of them facing down. However, when they are facing down, there's more of a chance that mold can grow in the cup because, you wash them and they might not be completely dry. They might be a little bit damp inside still. And then you place them down and they're not able to breathe. And so mold is able to grow in them and they can get stinky. And no one wants to drink out of a moldy, stinky cup. So put your cups right side up. The only thing that someone might have a concern about is dust. Dust can get in them when they're right side up. However, if they're in a closed cabinet like this, I don't think you need to be worried about dust. So yeah, I'm switching it up now and I am putting the cups facing up. And now back to what we missed. The shelf above the refrigerator is where I kept all of our party supplies, birthday party decorations and streamers and balloons and all kinds of things like that. And it's really hard to get things in that cabinet. And because it's hard to get to, it's hard to put things back in it neatly. So I decided not to keep them in there anymore. I went through and got rid of a lot of things. There were some things that I threw away that weren't in great condition. And then a lot of things I set aside to give away or sell, like old party decorations from when my boys were little, like Mickey Mouse birthday party banners and streamers and decorations, and Monster party decorations from when my son turned 1, and things that we're just not going to use again. It's little like babyish stuff, and the boys are older now. And yeah, we're not going to repeat and use a lot of that stuff again. And now I like to kind of keep it more simple and homemade instead of buying all kinds of birthday decorations that we're only going to use one time. So I went through and organized different items in gallon-sized Ziploc bags. So I had one that was just streamers, all different colors of streamers. One that was banners, like happy birthday signs. And then I had some Christmas photo props. And so I put all of that in that metal basket and I put it in the pantry. That way when it is time for someone's birthday and we decorate, it's a whole lot easier to get to.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes.
Guys, I am pretty embarrassed about how many coffee mugs I have. This is crazy. They keep coming and coming. The top 2 shelves in this cabinet are all coffee mugs. This cabinet goes pretty deep and some are even like stacked like one on top of the other. So we have a lot. So I did go through and get rid of a lot of mugs. Any that we haven't used either ever or in a long time, I got rid of. The holiday ones, like we don't use all the time. Like Christmas ones, we only use at Christmas time. Now, 1 month of December. So I only kept a limited amount. I think I kept like 4 Christmas mugs and like 2 Valentines and maybe like 3 fall ones. And so I have all of those holiday mugs on the top shelf. And then the middle shelf is where I keep all the rest of them. And so I picked out like only our favorites and just kept like picking out my favorite ones and putting them on the shelf until I ran out of room, and whatever was left over that wasn't my favorite, I got rid of. There was a mug that my son made for me. It had his handprints on it from when he was little. However, his handprints have pretty much all been washed off. So there's not really any point keeping that one. And then I had a mug that was broken. The handle had broken off of it. So what is the point of keeping that when I have all these other mugs to use? I kind of had my boys helping me a little bit because I can be a little indecisive sometimes when it's time to figure out what to keep and what to get rid of. So my boys helped me. They told me, oh, I like this one. Let's keep this one. And now I'm organizing this bottom shelf where I keep my coffee grounds. And I have 2 containers. I have one, that big one that's regular coffee, and then a smaller mason jar that is decaf. And I do have it labeled with decaf, so I know which one is which. And then I also have containers where I keep my tea bags, and I absolutely love these containers. I had some already, and then I just ordered some more from Amazon, and I love them because they're acrylic, so it's not like regular plastic that is not the most sturdy. These acrylic containers are really, really durable. They are a lot harder than regular plastic, and I love that they stack on top of each other. So right now I have in there 2 narrow ones where I keep decaf tea in one and caffeinated tea in another, and then I have a wider one where I keep some more tea that I use for making kombucha, and I have a few packets of hot chocolate in there. And now I'm organizing the medicine cabinet. I've been waiting for this one. I've been excited to organize the medicine cabinet. It's been a long time coming. Okay, so I started with the top shelf, got everything off, and up there I had a nebulizer that we use with my son, my oldest son, who's 8 now. We used that with him when he was 1, and he hasn't used it since, so we have no need of keeping it. So that's something that I'm gonna need to get rid of. So up there, I just put 2 big, huge containers of vitamin C and another supplement that don't fit in the other container. The second shelf is where I keep more medicine kind of stuff when people are sick or in pain. And so I got all the stuff out of there, wiped that shelf down, and same thing with the bottom shelf. I got everything out and wiped it down first, and then I'm going through and I'm seeing what of this stuff I need to keep, what we actually use, what is actually in date still, see what we want to keep, and then organize it, put it in containers with like items, and put it away neatly. So I have one container where I have my daily vitamins and supplements, things that I take every day or close to every day. I have had hormonal imbalance going on, which I'm in the process of rebalancing, and I do have supplements that I take to help with that. I also have some gut stuff going on, which I know they both kind of go hand in hand, and I have daily probiotics that I take. And so I'm using some more of these acrylic organizers. They're made by the same company, but I have these ones, this bigger, wider, taller size, which is perfect for vitamins and supplements and medicines. And so I am just going through every single bottle, checking the date. If it is out of date at all, I am disposing of it. And if it's something that we don't even use anymore, if it was an old medicine, when I was first going through my hormonal imbalance stuff, I had no idea what was wrong with me. And I was going to doctor after doctor to try to figure it out. And each one would prescribe something for me. I would try it, and nothing worked really until I figured out that it was my hormones. And so I have all these medicines that I don't need anymore. So I ended up disposing of lots of stuff. And I did use my label maker to make labels to help me make sure I'm putting the supplements in the right containers, and I'm able to quickly find what I need when I need to take something. Again, I absolutely love how these containers stack on top of each other. So when I need to take my daily vitamins, I can just reach in and grab that whole container and get out what I need and put it back on top of the other container. So I have one container that is all of my daily vitamins, another one that is gut health, so probiotics, digestive enzymes, things like that. And then another one that is for sickness and pain. So I have like turmeric supplement and some CBD, some cough drops, some bee propolis spray for your throat when you have a sore throat, which I love that stuff. My son actually woke up with a sore throat the other day and I sprayed a few squirts into his throat and his throat felt better very quickly. Okay, so I realized that I needed a narrow container to put like all of our Band-Aids in. And so I went back over to the tea and I had an extra short, wide container. So I ended up using that and putting all the tea in there, the decaf and the caffeinated tea. And I used one of those narrow acrylic containers to put all of our Band-Aids and thermometers and things like first aid kind of things when someone gets hurt or like to see if someone's sick. So lots and lots of medicines and vitamins and supplements to get rid of. I have been over the past 5 years or so transitioning to a less toxic lifestyle and trying to use more homeopathic natural remedies instead of always turning to medicine. I'm not totally against medicine. I will use it if I need to, but I want to try natural remedies first of all, because a lot of medicines can have bad side effects, especially with the gut, causing dysbiosis or an imbalance in your gut bacteria, which you can check out my videos on leaky gut to learn more about that. So yeah, I try not to use medicine unless I really need to. Try to turn to more natural things first. Okay, and I realize I haven't told you how I'm doing the cleaning and what I'm using. So as I'm going throughout the kitchen, each cabinet or drawer that I come to, I start by spraying the outside first with a little bit of all-purpose cleaner, and I'm using Branch Basics. I love Branch Basics because it is clean and non-toxic. It doesn't have any harmful chemicals in it. It doesn't have fragrance in it, which I know a lot of people love their fragrance. They love stuff that smells good, but when a bottle says fragrance on it, you have no way of knowing what is in it. It could be anything. It's the company's proprietary blend, so they don't have to disclose what is in it. And a lot of times, fragrances have chemicals in them that can mess with your hormones. They are endocrine disrupting chemicals. So I always try to avoid fragrance and then other harmful chemicals. I do make my own all-purpose cleaner, which I have the recipe for that on my blog. And I kind of go back and forth, whichever is convenient for me at the time, whichever one like I already have a bottle made up of. I have my homemade all-purpose cleaner, and then I also use Branch Basics all-purpose cleaner. And the great thing about that, besides it being clean and non-toxic, is that it comes in a concentrate. So it's a big bottle of concentrate, and it also comes with different spray bottles for like all-purpose cleaner, bathroom cleaner, streak-free cleaner, all these different cleaners. And you fill them up to a fill line with water and then put a small amount of concentrate on top and put the lid on and shake it up. And there you go. You have an all-purpose cleaner bottle. And so it's eco-friendly. You're not buying all these different bottles of all-purpose cleaner every time you run out. And it's budget friendly. You don't have to pay the, $4 or $5 or whatever that all-purpose cleaner bottle costs. You just make up your own with the concentrate.
and it does work really well. So I'll put the link to both my homemade all-purpose cleaner and then also this Branch Basics cleaner, which is just the more convenient one when you don't want to actually buy the supplies and make your own bottle with different ingredients. You just use 2 ingredients, the concentrate and water. It's super simple. So anyways, I'm just spraying a few squirts of that, and then I'm using a toothbrush, and I am kind of brushing in all those little cracks and grooves, because these cabinets do have a lot of grooves, and dirt and, food and crime and stuff can build up in those. I mean, I clean the kitchen weekly, but I don't go cleaning in all those little grooves, and they're hard to get to. So I use a toothbrush because that is just the easiest thing to get in all those grooves. I would recommend using, like a brand new toothbrush, not one that's been used. You want the bristles to be hard still so that they can really, brush hard and get all that nasty stuff out of the grooves. So I do that first, get the gunk out of the cracks, and then I spray a little bit more cleaner, and then I go through with a rag, and I've used several different rags throughout this whole cleaning video. I've used some microfiber and also some cloth ones, and I like the cloth ones better for this job just because they do a better job of like drying than microfiber cloths do. And so I wipe good the whole surface of the cabinet, the front of the cabinet or drawer. I open it up and do like the sides and the inside part, all of it. And then you saw me earlier, I also stood on top of the countertops and clean the top of the cabinets, and that's something that definitely needs to be done. If your cabinets are not like flush with the ceiling, if you have space there, the top of the cabinets can get very dirty and greasy with all the cooking that's done right under there. Somehow grease makes it up on top of the countertops, and so for that I filled up a bowl with warm water and a little bit more of the Branch Basics concentrate. And then also Branch Basics has something called Oxygen Boost, which is great for like tougher things like stains. You can add it to your laundry to brighten up your whites. You can use it to remove stains. You can sprinkle some of it on pots and pans that have stuck on gunk and like let it soak for a little bit, and then spray it with the all-purpose cleaner and wipe it down. But it works really well for getting like tougher things out. And so I put some of that in the water and let it dissolve, and then just dipped a cloth in that bowl, wrung it out, and then went to town on the top of those cabinets, and it worked really well for getting all that gunk off of the cabinets. Okay, and now on to my drawers that have all of these dishcloths. So I'm getting everything out of these drawers because I'm going to be reorganizing them, and I got to clean them down first. But I'm getting all of them out, and as you can see, when I organize a room, it becomes more of a mess and a disaster before it is nice and clean and organized. But it will get better. It will look good, I promise. So I am folding these a different way. I'm folding them the KonMari method. So I folded them in half one way and then folded them in half the other way. And then for most of them, I folded them in thirds, depending on the size. Some I just folded in half again. And then I stood all of them up in here. That way I am able to see all of my towels clearly. Before I couldn't really because they were laying on top of each other. This way it's a whole lot easier to find what I'm looking for, and it just makes them look a whole lot neater, and they stay nice and neat like this. And in these 3 drawers here, I'm putting them
them in color order also. So on the far left side, I have white, cream, brown, and then I go through the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then purple if I were to have purple. And then in the very first drawer closest to where the oven is, that's where I'm going to be putting my oven mitts and washcloths, which I am washing them right now, so that's why they're not going in there yet. And now I'm moving on to this other island, and these top 4 drawers are, I guess, what most people call junk drawers. I don't like to call them junk drawers because that just makes it seem like it's okay to put junk in there. So in that second drawer is where I had like all of our pens and paper and stuff, but I'm moving it over to the first drawer. So I have one container that has pens, and I did test everyone out to make sure they actually worked before putting them back in there. And then I have another little basket that has paper. And then I have some tape and some matches in there. In the second drawer is where we keep like some of our electronics. And if you saw my attic organization video, I have another container of electronic stuff up there, like extra extension cords and things like that. But these are electronics that we use like very regularly, things that go with my laptop, like my external hard drive that I use that I keep everything on, my charging cords for my laptops. We have a little Alexa speaker, so things like that we use regularly, we keep in that drawer. And then I had a bunch of papers in the last drawers, which I'm going through those papers and I'm putting them away where they go, up in our filing cabinet, up in our home office, in our bonus room, and a lot of things are going to be thrown away. So the last 2 drawers on that island are now empty, and I'm going to keep them like that. I like to leave extra space whenever I organize to have a little bit of room to grow into if I need to put something there in the future.
You're my sunflower. You're my sunflower.
And now I'm doing the cabinets here. And this cabinet, this is where I had like my Instapot and Crock-Pot and toaster and cookbooks. And the shelf that the cookbooks are on kept falling down. The little plastic dowels that keep the shelf up were falling apart. And so I got this box with all kinds of different metal dowels to hold up shelves, and they are a whole lot sturdier than the plastic ones that come originally in the cabinets. I got this whole box on Amazon and I love it. I've used a lot of these whenever a shelf is fallen down. I replace those dowels with these metal ones and they hold them up. They're a whole lot stronger. So I will link to these down below. So I replaced all of the plastic ones with metal ones and then replaced the shelf, and it stayed. And I made sure to clean off the shelf, and then I put the cookbooks back. And for my cookbooks, I kind of put them in order by group. So I kind of put like all the Christmas cooking books, like fancier occasion cooking books together, and then all the kids cookbooks together that my son uses, and then all the like healthier cookbooks together on the far right side, just because those are the ones that I use the most often and I want them to be easier to reach to and find. I did get rid of a few cookbooks that I've never used before and don't think I'm going to use them. And then on the bottom shelf, I replaced the shelf liner, wiped it down, and then instead of putting the crock pot and stuff there, I'm putting our electric griddle on the bottom shelf just because there's not a lot of height space there because our cookbooks have to come down low to be able to stand up and fit. So our electric griddle was the perfect thing to fit there. And we had another electric griddle and I put it there and then I took it away because I realized like we don't need 2 electric griddles. We don't even use that smaller one ever. It's never been used. So I set that aside to get rid of. And then I also put this little waffle maker there. And I did end up putting the toaster there too. I just had to clean it out first. And I didn't show that, but I did like take out that plate that slides out from the bottom, and I dumped the whole toaster upside down and just like shook it really good and shook all the crumbs and everything off of it. And then I just sprayed it with my all-purpose cleaner and wiped it down good. And then moving on to this next cabinet here, I wanted to put all of our blender things like our blender, our stand mixer, our handheld mixer, our food processor, all of those things that, you know, blend up food. However, it did not all fit there. Our blender, I thought, could go there, and there just wasn't enough room. So I ended up putting our crock pot and our Instapot there, and our stand mixer with all of its attachments behind it. I don't really need to reach those well because I don't really use them that often. And then on the top shelf is where I put the blendery stuff. So the hand mixer, the food processor, an immersion blender, all of those things. And as I was putting them away, I did clean all of those small kitchen appliances. So again, I used the toothbrush, and I did, by the way, this is the same toothbrush, but I did clean it out several times throughout this so that it's not just getting more things dirty. But I did use that toothbrush, and I got in all the little cracks and grooves in the stand mixer and in the Instant Pot, get out all that gunky yuckiness, and then wiped it down with my all-purpose cleaner and my cloth. Okay, last cabinets here. In these cabinets in our middle island, we keep like our baking dishes and our nice serving plates and platters and bowls, vases, pie pans, and things like that. So once again, I'm starting by cleaning the outside of the cabinets, both the front and the back of the doors, and then I'm going shelf by shelf, getting everything off the shelf, cleaning it off, putting the shelf liner back, cleaning it off, and then putting back nicely the things that we want to keep. And I'm just doing a little bit of rearranging. I ended up getting rid of some serving dishes that we don't use, we don't need, and I got rid of some vases because I don't get fresh flowers that often, and I don't need 10 million vases. So I picked out my favorites and set aside in my pile of stuff to get rid of some of the vases. And then also on the bottom shelf in this island, I have extra mason jars. Whenever I run out of mayo or some kind of sauce that comes in a glass jar, I keep that glass jar and reuse. So I just take the label off and wash it out really well. And I use lemon essential oil. I just put a few drops on the sticky part, and it helps really well with getting that stickiness off of it. And so I lined up my jars nicely in order from tallest to shortest. And I also do the same thing with little spice jars because sometimes I do make my own like spice blends. I have eczema and I've been able to heal my eczema, and you can check out my videos to see how I healed my eczema. But one of my triggers that I've come to find out is nightshades. So that's like tomatoes and peppers. And thankfully, it's gotten a whole lot better now. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be when I do have some nightshades. But when I do have some nightshades, I will get a little flare up. And so I just try to avoid them as much as I can. So I do make like my own taco seasoning and stuff that doesn't have any peppers in it. And so I reuse those little spice containers. And then I use another one of those acrylic containers. I have all of those mason jars, kind of like the towels, standing up so I can easily reach the one that I want to get. And that is it for my kitchen cabinets cleaning and organization. I'm going to have to make this kitchen organization a 2-part video series. So come back and watch my next video. I'm going to finish the cleaning. I still have all of the big kitchen appliances to clean, and the sink and the countertops, the window, and also the cabinet under the sink. I did not do that one yet. So I will do that in the next video. I hope you guys got some good, helpful tips here and some motivation to go clean and organize your own kitchen. Let me know in the comments how it goes for you and any other tips you have for organizing your kitchen. Feel free to take a picture and tag me on Instagram at Britt Brings It Home. I would love to see your organized kitchen. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. From my home to yours. See you next time.